Welcome back to Just Scribble. Today I am going to do my 2020 personal planner setup video. So if you haven't seen my 2020 planner lineup, I will attach a card up above and I will put a link down in the description box as well. But in that video, I go through all the planners that I'm using in 2020, some of which are being used in more of a journal capacity, and 3 of which are actual true planners: my work planner, my social media planner, and my personal planner. I have already done detailed videos on my work planner and my social media planner, and so I will put links to those as well in case you want to check them out. But this is my 3rd and final line-up detailed video. So this is my personal planner. Currently it is housed in a Chic Sparrow Rosewood Eclass, but I have moved it around a couple times already for 2020. My cover for my planner, I do keep an insert for my son's school. I used this same insert last year and the year before, and I just keep using it and adding notes for teacher conferences, field trips, and things like that until it's full, and then I move on to a new one. But that is not actually part of my planner. It's just something that I keep in the traveler's notebook or folio for my planner when I set it up. So last year I used 3 different planner setups during the year. I started out the year in Hobonichi weeks, and although I liked the setup, it wasn't perfect and it didn't give me everything that I wanted to, particularly in size. So the next thing I did was I had custom inserts made by Paper Penguin, and they were set up like the Hobonichi weeks with monthly views and the week on 2 pages with a horizontal week on the left side and a blank grid page on the right side. But they were set up where the monthly page came for that month, and then after it, the weekly pages for that month, and then the next month and the weekly pages for that month, and so on. And then there were extra pages in the back for collections or notes. And I used that from March to June, and although it worked, I still wasn't quite happy with it because I was limited to the setup and the design, and I really didn't need the monthly pages as much. So then I switched to a B6 Plus from Leuchtturm, and I used that from July until December, and I absolutely loved it. I was doing a Bujo-esque style where I drew my own weekly layouts, and I also did daily pages for notes and brain dump and things like that, but also for a sort of mini memory journal. And in December I added Create December to it as well. And I really liked it, and I really liked the size. But for 2020, I wanted to try something similar but slightly different. So I decided to go from the B6 Plus to the B6 size, and starting with the Stalogy, because I already owned this Stalogy. I had used it for a little bit for some journaling, and it wasn't what I wanted. And so I decided I would cut out the pages that I had used and repurpose it and use it for my 2020 planner. I don't expect that this might be my planner for the full year. I may fill this one and then go to another Stalogy, or I may switch to another B6 size notebook, or I may go back to B6 Plus, or rotate back and forth. But I do know that B6 and B6 Plus is kind of my happy place for planners, whereas B6 Slim is my happy place for social media planning and journaling. And so I know that the size will stay the same, and then I allow myself to adjust my layouts as I see fit or as my life changes. So this is the cover of my planner for 2020 for the first half or quarter, depending on how long it takes me to fill it up. I have some vinyls on it that I made from Cricut, and then I have a jelly cover on it from Espresso. I have a video sharing that jelly cover in more detail that I can link as well. In the inside, I have glued a pretty piece of decorative cardstock that I liked, and I actually stuck a little heart that was the leftover from a vinyl for a water bottle that I made for a friend for Christmas. I did cut out the pages that I had journaled on, and then I just glued the next page to the front flap to kind of hide the fact that I had cut out pages and to allow the spine to stay intact and secure. I then printed out a quote for the left-hand page that says, "Wherever you are, be all there," from Jim Elliott, and I foiled it with foil using my laminator. And on the right-hand page, I put my word of the year, which is "be present." This is my second year to use a word of the year. Last year, my word was balance, and I loved it, and it worked, and it was awesome. And so this year, I let myself kind of pick whatever word picked me, I guess. And the word that picked me was "be present." And so the quote kind of goes with my word. And so that is the opening of my planner, just to remind me of that. The next two pages are monthly or a yearly overview page. One is my son's school calendar, and the other one is a printable that I have added. I will post links to each printable below so that you can see where I got them from. But on here, it just has the 12 months of 2020. And then in gray with my play dot, I have dotted my company holidays. The next two pages are the monthly overview kind of future planning pages. These are also a printable that I have stuck down on it. These are used to document birthdays and anniversaries of friends and family. I have not finished filling this out, but I am doing it as I have time or think about it. And I have hearts next to anniversaries and then little presents next to birthdays. I am trying to keep them as much in chronological order as possible, but as birthdays come up that I haven't thought about or I make a new friend, they will be added, and so they may not stay in chronological order. The next page is part of this same printable, and it is just a list of the 2020 holidays, just to have it for reference. This is a vellum that I printed from my Press digital box, and so I printed it on vellum and then I just tipped it in. I opted not to put anything on the page behind it because I thought that this vellum was very, very pretty, and I really didn't want to disturb the images of it. But when I put in my vellum for February, I may write something behind it, like a quote or the name of the month. On the next page, I have a printable, which is the month of January, and I just put a little bit of decoration and notes of some important events that were happening this month. I truly didn't use this monthly calendar to its full advantage in January because I hadn't been using a monthly, and so getting back into the habit of using it was a little bit hard, and I don't need it for planning everything. It's more just to have an overview of the month if I'm talking to my husband about scheduling or things like that. So I will be using it slightly different in February, and I'm sure that it will change over time as I continue. The left-hand page is blank because I planned on adding some trackers on here, but I hadn't quite figured out what exactly I wanted, and so I did have some post-it notes stuck on here with notes, but I took them off so that I could use them to plan for February, and so those are not there. But in the coming months, there will be a month page over here, and then some trackers related to that month on this page. My tabs in here are almost all Avery tabs, some may be post-it notes, and then the labels were printed with my Dymo label maker. So after the month overview page, I have an order tracker and a wish list page. So the order tracker are things that I ordered this month, and it just indicates if it was shipped and received. I have the store name and the items that I ordered in general, and then the wish list are some shops that I want to buy things from, and I left places to write some things that I wanted from them. The next pages are my weekly pages, and so I will just flip through those. Each week I have drawn my weekly pages slightly different. In some I have used stickers, and in some I have handwritten all of the information. They each have a sort of color theme to them, which is how I do my weekly pages, so that week I only need mild liners and play dots and things like that that are in the color scheme of that week, and I don't need to bring other pens with me. So those are my weekly pages and how I did them. I was playing with different layouts to kind of see what I liked, because although the B6 size is similar to B6 Plus, it is half an inch shorter, and so I wanted to try some different layouts that were different than what I had used in the last 6 months. I will continue to play with different layouts throughout the year because sometimes your needs change and sometimes what you want to do or look at changes. After my weekly pages each month, then I have daily pages, some of which I have hidden because they have pictures of our kiddo and we don't share those on social media. But I, wrote about, I wanted to come up with some routines, and so I was making notes on routines that I wanted to come up with. Or I journaled about a movie I watched and feelings that it brought back, or it was our wedding anniversary, and so I journaled about that. There's some recipe information, notes on buying our new iPhones. There's self-care that I wanted to work on, just some journaling about being sick, and then even some art. I started planning my color schemes for my February weekly pages on a post-it note so that I could figure out what colors I wanted to use and what washi tape I wanted to use for the month. And so now I will be doing my February monthly page, the same general layout, and my weekly pages, and then I will go into February dailies and so on. That is the front forward, but the back direction, I use my planner for sort of collections, I guess. In the very back, I have a different piece of pretty paper, and then I have a page that I'm using as a pen test page. Then I have favorite planner shops written down with notes on things that I like to buy from them. I then have websites or other things that I want to check out or read about. I have my books to read in 2020. It is actually 19 books. I'm missing the 20th book because I haven't decided what I wanted to add there, but I just printed colored pictures of the covers of each book, and then I will mark off when I have read them and make a note of my rating on whether or not I liked them. Then before that, we have restaurants. These are just notes on restaurants around town and in places that we travel to, for even things like the Wi-Fi passcode in case my son wants to watch something during dinner, or the things that we like the best there, or the things that we don't like there. The next section, working back towards the front, are upcoming movies. I have not moved the movies over from my last year planner, and so I need to do that because I did have the first quarter written in that planner. But as movies are going to be released that we want to see, I add them here. Then I have been working on a build tracker. So this is going to be like my summary of the bills that we have each month. And then over here, it is going to be a tracker so that I can keep track of paying our bills. And I used my old school Dymo label maker to put the label there. And then I just have some notes about why I'm liking the Stalogy so that I can do another video detailing that if I so desire. So that is my planner setup. It is very similar to my 2019 planner setup in the B6 Plus, but with a little bit more included in it. The February, in February, it will actually get a little bit more to it because I have some printables that I want to add in there when I want to build routines and things like that, and for some daily pages, just to try to help me make it a little bit easier to plan and to develop myself. But overall, the same concept will apply. I will have a vellum of some sort or a decorative paper for the beginning of the month, my monthly page, and there will be trackers there. Then there will be an order tracker and a wish list, my weekly pages, and then after that, daily pages and maybe some tip-ins and printables. So that is my 2020 planner in a nutshell. I will be doing a February plan with me soon so that you guys can see in more detail how I do my planner layouts and what I am adding for February for printables, and some ring inserts that are coming in the mail that I'm going to be gluing into my pages as needed. If you have any questions about my planner setup, please don't hesitate to comment below. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future videos, and don't forget to just scribble.